Okay, it's say we are live on LinkedIn and also on.
Yeah, from LinkedIn, I just got a message that.
Yes. Let me just put it on the message. Mm, Okay. In about a minute, we will start. I can see 6 people live already with us. So
Okay.
all those live, good morning. And if you joined us from say, Singapore or any other part, good afternoon, good day. Uh, so in about a minute we'll start. And if you're able to hear us, just give a thumbs up or just send a message. You can hear us. Okay. Okay. So we are ready. Start करें ज्योति जी or should we wait?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if there are already people who have joined, then let's
Yeah.
respect their time and let's start.
All right. So let's begin. And I hope people you're able to hear us. If you're able to hear us, just give us a thumbs up so that we know that you are able to hear what we are saying. All right. Okay, so let's begin. Thank you, Bhamaji, for Andrea. Thank you, Ambika. People can hear us. Excellent. So welcome to all those watching us live today. It's a lovely morning here, and we will make it interactive and insightful for you. Now, before we begin, just a brief background about what Leadership Narratives is all about. So, Leadership Narrative series it showcases inspiring leaders reshaping their stories to make a lasting positive impact, and it is in alignment with our vision at Samaksh of fostering a community of purpose-driven organizations, professionals, and entrepreneurs committed to creating a meaningful impact in their world. So, with that, allow me to introduce you to my second guest in the Leadership Narratives series. Obviously, you guys already can see her and you know her. It is Jyoti Sapra, a success coach and executive coach based in Singapore with over 20 years of leadership and coaching experience. Using her expertise in psychology and coaching, she helps clients tackle challenges such as goal setting, leadership development, mental wellness, work life balance, and effective parenting. Jyoti utilizes proprietary frameworks like Rubaru, which I promise you I will get her to talk about it as we go ahead of this time, and psychometric tools to assist individuals and organizations in overcoming self limiting beliefs. Beyond coaching, she is also a Reiki healer, a painter, and an avid traveler. We will now delve deeper into her story. So, Jyoti, welcome to Leadership Narratives, and thank you for being here despite your traveling schedule. So, would you like to say something before we begin?
Well, thanks so much, Akshay, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And thanks so much, everyone, for joining us live here.
Absolutely. So with that, let's begin, Jyoti. वो सवाल जो सभी लोग शायद इंतजार कर रहे हैं. And इतने दिन से जो भी प्रमोशन चल रहा था, there were quite a few people, were looking forward to this talk.
Mhm.
So great job at that. And one thing I think I would want to say is there was a program that Jyoti and I had, co-facilitated maybe in 2020. She was one of the facilitators, co-facilitators. And after the session was done, it was on work-life balance. And my wife happened to reach out to her because she was one of the participants. And she still keeps telling me that one session she had with you, Jyoti, she still remembers that, and she's able to, apply all the teachings that you shared. So I think
Oh.
great. So with that, we would want to know more about your story. So Jyoti, what's your story? Just
First, I would just like to thank Samaya. Thank you so much, Samaya, for remembering that and using that in your day-to-day life. Thanks.
yes,
And now about me.
yes.
So I'm born and raised in Delhi, and have been living in Singapore for past 11 years with my wonderful husband and two adorable daughters. So have been into the industry for almost now, I would say 28 years. Now, out of
Wow.
which first 16 were in my full-time job,
Right.
and where I was working with American Embassy as a visa fraud investigator. So I left my full-time job in 2009. So got myself certified as a coach from ICF in 2010, and then started my own company in India. So I that time I was on the panel of few of the companies and started working with their teams and with individual members. Moved to Singapore after that with my family in 2013.
Right.
That was the time when I feel that another phase of my life started.
Right.
So moving to Singapore actually expanded my horizons. I pursued my passions like painting, travel, and it also helped me to overcome my personal challenges, such as simple things like learning to swim. I had a phobia of water. I learned cooking. I enrolled myself for Mandarin classes when I just moved to Singapore. Not that I can speak Mandarin, but I did try it. I enrolled myself in the classes. So,
Right.
embracing holistic practices like astrology, numerology, Vastu, healing, and after all of these, I could relate myself more with being a healer. I'm a master Reiki healer. In fact, not only me, my husband Sunil is also a master healer, and our both girls are also first level healers. So I
So
started
nice.
more after moving to Singapore. I started spending more time with my girls, knowing and understanding them better. I realized that I've been missing on doing all these things as I was so engrossed in my job and daily mundane stuff. Not that I didn't like my job, I loved my job. I loved every moment of that. But somehow I never took out time to see what brought me happiness.
Mm.
Not that I didn't have time in India. I
Correct.
had plenty of, so I was I am blessed with a wonderful family, both my parents and my in-laws, and they supported me at every step. And
Mm.
I'm very thankful to each and every member of my family. And I'm very thankful to my supportive husband also. He's been there on every step with me. I was much busier when we moved to Singapore because here I had to do everything on my own. All the chores had to be done uh, on my own. But despite that, I took initiatives to learn and do all the things. I explored so many things. I took initiatives, and that was the time when I actually learned that it's not the time, it's the intention,
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
awareness, what we want from life.
Mm.
And I use a lot of this in my coaching practice also. And uh, what Akshay mentioned in the beginning, that I use my this program which is called Rubaru. And
Correct.
this program is to know yourself. To know it's like an aina. When
Right.
you're talking to a mirror,
Absolutely.
when you are talking to your inner self, that what exactly is it that is is that you want in life, not as a different hats that you're wearing as a daughter, as a mother, as a daughter-in-law or as a sister or sister-in-law or any other uh,
Right.
this, but as an individual, as a you. So it was when I moved here, I took out time to be with myself and see what is it that is going to bring me joy. And so I did so many new things in a short span of time.
Mm.
And it's an
Absolutely.
ongoing journey.
Yes. Absolutely.
So that was the time when I realized that we don't have to give excuses to ourselves.
Mm. Correct.
And another mind block which I felt that time was that when I was thinking that when I had a phobia of water, and because of that fear, I'd never tried to even step on the first step of the swimming pool.
Oh, okay.
And then I asked myself a question. Ab nahi to kab? When am I going to overcome with my fear? And it
Right.
took me almost 3 to 4 weeks to reach at the third or the fourth step,
Correct.
but constantly moving, and then I was able to swim.
Excellent.
So, so it was like, अब इस then again the question comes that अब इस एज में स्विमिंग सीखोगे या जब पेंटिंग करना जब बच्चों को ड्राइंग सिखाने की उम्र है तो खुद पेंटिंग करना की क्लास
Painting.
ज्वाइन करोगे बट देन यस फॉर मी इट वाज अब नहीं तो कब
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm already I mean half of my life is already I've crossed half of this and अगर अभी नहीं करोगे तो when I'm sitting in the last innings of my life and I don't want to
Mm.
regret at that time.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
so I started now in fact I started making quarterly goals and I want to learn them. I have a long list of things which I still want to learn. So learning and exploring different things, they bring joy
Right.
to me.
Correct.
So they're like the different colors of life which I want to paint each color on my life's canvas.
Mm.
And it hasn't been an easy journey for me.
Right.
Just unlike everyone else, I had my own challenges. I had my own choices that I had made in past. But awareness and conversation with myself, being myself, helped me to overcome this.
Correct. Excellent.
So so that was
Very
my short and long story.
no, no, absolutely. I think,
Yeah.
and that probably sets the tone of this entire live conversation. And what I loved, about what this story was the fact that you said that it's not about the time, it's about the intent, and that is what
Yes.
work-life balance is, right? I think we need to remember that it's the same person who's managing life and it's the same person managing work. अब वो work आपका घर का काम हो या आपका business हो या आपका job हो, वो एक ही आदमी कर रहा है. And as long as you know what your intent is, what your objective is, I think that's all that matters.
Very, very true. That was the crust of this whole thing, Akshay, because when I was doing this, I had more time there,
Correct.
but the intent was missing. The awareness was not there. The moment it came here, when I had no support, nothing here, it was just four of us, and we had to do all the things despite all that.
Mm.
Starting my work from scratch and doing all the things which brings joy to me.
Correct.
It was easy.
Can imagine. Good, and I think that's the entire purpose of having this leadership narrative, right? As I said, the whole purpose is to, share stories, real life stories, and talk about the importance of narratives. It's the narrative that drives us, that drives our identity, and that drives us towards a purpose. So yeah, with
True.
that thought in mind, let's begin. Now, अब तक तो मैं सुन रहा था, but people have been saying that Jyoti is really good at listening, and personally I know that, of course. So, what is your secret? How do you stay positive and make others feel better when they talk to you?
Thanks for your kind words, Akshay. And I genuinely value my conversations with people. And listening really helps me that because when I'm there for people, I aim to create a safe place where
Right.
all the people feel heard. They feel that they're being understood. And of late, I've been noticing that we all are running. and no one has time for anyone to listen to them. And that is something which is very important for me, that if I'm going through any rough phase, or if I need someone to be there for me, the only, I'm not looking for solutions most of the time.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for is someone to just listen to me. And when that is important for me, there is a possibility that this is something which is important for others also. And if just by being there, if I really want to support my loved ones or my people around me, then this is one thing which can really make an impact. And gratitude, mindfulness, self care, then resilience, these all contribute and help me to stay positive.
Correct. Excellent. And that is what is needed. It's not just being a counselor or a coach. It's about that's the power we humans have, right? The power to listen and make someone feel heard. सब जैसे आपने बोला कि हम सब भाग रहे हैं, तो इस भागदौड़ में हम खुद को तो भूल ही रहे हैं, लेकिन जो हमारे से बात कर रहे हैं, वी आर लिसनिंग टू स्पीक. वो आई थिंक वो एक सेइंग भी है, राइट? वी आर लिसनिंग टू स्पीक. कि हम वो सोच रहे हैं यार ये बोल रहे तो अब मैं क्या बोलूँ या मैं क्या बोलूँ. And as a coach, as a counselor, it is crucial for us to listen to what is being said or not said, and
Absolutely. It
connect
is
connect with that and then take it forward.
bilkul Akshay. You very rightly said it is more important what us to try to hear what is not being said.
Correct. Absolutely. All right. So ये तो कोचिंग की बात हो गई. And in your story, briefly, आपने mention किया that you got into coaching maybe in 2010 or 2009 you started perhaps.
Yeah.
So when did you realize that coaching and leadership development were what you wanted to do with your life?
So while I was working with American Embassy, there was a leadership trainings happening for us. So in 2004, I was introduced to coaching first,
Oh, nice.
and there a workshop was happening, and I was also part of that workshop.
Mhm.
And when I attended that workshop, I experienced coaching for the first time,
Okay.
and I realized that it was transformational. It made me think, and then I started connecting it. And I have a psychology background, so my passion for understanding human behavior naturally led me towards coaching, and I started practicing that with my team members and with my officers who were there.
Right.
So the more I was using it, the more I was observing that how
Correct.
it is impacting people. And then there was a time when I decided that, okay, I'm going to quit my job because of long hours and long travel and my girls being young at that time.
Right.
So I had a choice that what I would want to pick up now as a career, because I could
Correct.
never imagine myself just sitting and not doing anything.
Right.
So that was the time when I thought that since this has been uh, very close to my heart and I want to pick up this as my career. So after leaving my job, I took the formal training for coaching through ICF, and then started my own company. And since then, it has been coaching.
Excellent. So it's as if you were made for this field. This was your calling. This was your purpose.
Yes, my
And
calling
being
has.
your yeah, and being in your previous job, I think it kind of gave you the platform to take it ahead.
Yes.
Excellent. And I think that's what it's all about, right? So जिंदगी में तुम क्या करना चाहते हो? तो बचपन से जब मुझे डैडी वुड आस्क मी कि क्या करना है तेरे को लाइफ में, या लोग बोलते थे, आई वुड बी लाइक रियली क्लूलेस एंड स्कैर्ड. सो एज अ चाइल्ड ऑब्वियसली आई वाज वेरी क्लूलेस. मेरे को नहीं मालूम था मुझे क्या करना है. You can if you've seen the film Laksh,
Hmm.
featuring ऋतिक रोशन, तो उसका जो कैरेक्टर था कि दोस्त ने बोला चलो इधर जाते हैं तो उधर जाएंगे, तो मेरा वही कुछ वैसे ही कुछ हाल था.
Hmm.
And in fact, even after graduation, I was a bit lost. And it's only after 40. So when I turned 40, I realized that I should have perhaps gone for psychology, did my bachelor's in psychology, instead of spending time in commerce. But anyways, so why do you think it's hard for people to figure out what they want to do in life? And do you think people are getting better at it, or वैसे ही है?
So figuring it out, our life's direction is a challenging thing actually,
Correct, correct, absolutely.
because of so many options that we have, the
Hmm,
external pressures, like you just said कि दोस्त लोग इधर जा रहे हैं तो उधर उनके साथ हो लिए, या
correct.
पेरेंट्स ने बोला कि ये चीज़ है करनी है, आपको इंजीनियरिंग करनी है, डॉक्टर बनना है, या सो बच्चों को उसमें एनरोल कर दिया, और these are the different options that you can work on, अभी यही लो.
Correct.
Sometimes the fear of failure, or so it is a very challenging thing.
Hmm,
It's not easy.
correct.
I can't say whether people are becoming better at it or not. It's very subjective.
Hmm, true.
But I definitely, there is one thing that with support, with changes around us, making the decisions or the choices that we make in life, the
Right,
way we are uh, dealing with the personal factors, it still is
right.
hard.
Correct. Absolutely. And I think there are times, even at work, or while you're working in a company, you may be doing really well in whatever role that you may be in. But there may be questions in your mind कि यार मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ मैं? What am I doing in my life with my life? Is this the right space for me?
Mm,
Am I in the right field? Am I in the right place?
mm,
And when most of us, when we get these questions, I think there is this fear then that starts playing on the mind,
mm,
right? कि
mm.
अरे ये सवाल अभी क्यों आ रहे हैं? But I
True.
think that is when we need to reflect. That is when I
Mm,
think we need to listen to what the mind is trying to say. हमें अक्सर वो
mm.
डर रहता है कि भाई अगर ये मेरा गलत फील्ड है तो क्या करें? Will I be
True.
able to make the switch? And I
Yes.
think वही देखना जरूरी होता है, right? I think उसी को
Yeah. And
we follow.
and also, Akshay, as you and me, we both have done with our careers. We both have been in a specific career for
Yes,
some time, and then we
correct,
moved. So
correct,
again, that is also not an easy choice.
absolutely.
With lot of feelings of being judged, या अब इस टाइम पे करियर चेंज कर रहे. So
True,
again, and that fear कि मैं कर पाऊंगा या नहीं कर पाऊंगा अभी,
correct,
सब कुछ स्क्रैच से शुरू करना है. So it's, so I have experienced it, you have experiences, we all go through challenges, but
absolutely,
it's not difficult. हर
correct,
समय उसी चीज में अटके रहना, that is not giving you
correct, correct,
happiness, is
correct,
also not.
correct, absolutely. And there's one thing that I always tell during my sessions, and mostly ये मेरे गुरु से ही मिला है ये, is कि fear and faith जो होते हैं, fear
Hmm.
and faith are both asking you or forcing you or pushing you to
Hmm.
believe in things that you don't see.
Hmm.
So it's up to us, right? So we need to choose wisely. डर और फेथ दोनों आपको वही चीजें दिखा रहे हैं जो आपको दिख नहीं रही. तो
बिल्कुल.
हमें वो चूज करना है कि क्या चूज करना है, right?
Hmm.
All right. So so अगर चॉइस की बात हो, so if
Hmm.
you weren't a coach, what do you think you would be doing?
About fear and faith.
No, no, it's about mainly अगर आप कोच नहीं होती तो क्या करती, या फियर एंड फेथ
Oh,
तो है ही.
okay. Okay,
या
okay. What
no, no.
I would be doing it.
Yes,
Then,
yes, yes.
then probably I would have been an investigator only. I love my job.
Okay.
अगर अगर कोचिंग नहीं कर रही होती तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन ही कर रही होती.
Correct, correct. Yeah, but I think in a way, coaching is also kind of an investigation, right? We are
Yes,
helping the person investigate
yes,
their
yes.
life, their life.
Yeah.
Good, I think. Very nice. The investigative coach is what we can call you. Yeah, and I think since you were thinking about fear and faith, is there anything you want to add
हाँ,
to that?
yeah, yeah. Um, so I, fear and faith, I would say fear is the one that stops us.
Yeah,
Faith is the one which helps us to move forward when we are fearful.
Correct. Absolutely. No, very true. And also being fearless is not being in a phase where you're not afraid of anything. No, in fact, being fearless is that you're aware of your fears and you're moving ahead alongside
Mm,
your fears. And that's
mm,
that's what matters, right? And speaking of which, I think my next question is about beliefs.
mm.
Uh, so we say fear is holding us back. So limiting belief
Mm.
जो आते हैं वो हमारे life experiences हमारे fear से ही आते हैं. So what were
Yes.
some of your limiting beliefs and how did you overcome those? और अगर आपके पास कोई यूनिवर्सल सोल्यूशन हो जिससे कि हम लोगों को वो दे सके एंड टू हेल्प देम गेट रिड ऑफ देयर सेल्फ लिमिटिंग बिलीव्स तो वो भी हमें दे दीजिए.
So when I was growing up, Akshay, I also had a lot of, unlike everyone else, we all have a lot of limiting
Correct.
beliefs. And I also
Absolutely.
had a lot of fears in me. And um, like I just mentioned that I changed my career. So
Hmm.
I was in a well established, fantastic job.
Right.
So when I was leaving my job and I was getting a good paycheck at the end of every month, and then when I was thinking of turning an entrepreneur and starting my own work and getting into it, so the first thought which was coming to my mind was, how will I do it? This is something that I have to start something from scratch. I'll not be able to do it.
Hmm.
And here I am from 2009 till 2024,
Correct.
almost 15 years, still sticking on to my entrepreneurial
Correct.
journey.
Correct. Correct.
So, and
Hmm.
I have been having like, again, my this fear of not stepping into the water. I don't know from where this fear of water came in my mind. I had never, it, I am raised and always lived in Delhi. So
Right.
there is no water around. Dur dur tak there is no lake or river or anything. But I don't know from where this fear of water was there. So it was in my mind. It was my belief that if I'll go, I'll somehow डूबी जाऊंगी मैं पानी में.
Hmm.
So even if on a holiday we used to go, to, I was very scared. These are still big things, but small
Correct.
things like when we when we are growing up or when we tell our anyone that छोटी सी बात पे तुझसे ये नहीं हो पाएगा,
Hmm.
यू आर नॉट केपेबल इनफ फॉर डूइंग दिस. और ऐसे बहुत सारे इंस्टेंसेस होते हैं जब हम बहुत कैजुअली बोल जाते हैं अपने
Hmm.
आसपास के लोग,
Correct.
बट वो कहीं ना कहीं छाप छोड़ जाते हैं. वो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे बिलीफ सिस्टम में बैठ जाते हैं जो कि कभी बाहर ही नहीं आते हैं, और हम भी उसको बिलीव करने लग जाते हैं
Correct. Very true.
कि नहीं, ये तो मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा. कोई उसका कोई बेस नहीं होता, पर ओवर द इयर्स हम सुनते रहते हैं, कोई हमसे कहता रहता है, तो वो लेयर्ड अप होते रहते हैं.
Yeah. Correct.
And
Absolutely.
now to answer your question that how did I overcome it or how do we all can. So persistent efforts to shift my focus to my present.
Correct.
How I can move from my anxiety, or like I had a lot of anxiety when I was moving.
Hmm.
So from there to planning and making the goals. But one thing which I really felt was the key was awareness. That awareness was the key to understanding my limiting beliefs.
Hmm.
The moment I understood that this is not something which I can't do, or the reason why my belief system has become a hindrance in my growth.
Hmm. Correct.
The moment I realized that and I brought a shift in that, that became my strength.
Absolutely. Right. And I think that is what is needed, right? Because लिमिटिंग बिलीफ्स जो होते हैं, इट्स लाइक द स्टोरी ऑफ द एलिफेंट है, इसके पैर वो हमें चेन में बांध के रखे, बट छोड़ने के बाद भी उसे लगता है कि उसे बांधा. And typically, these limiting beliefs are a result, as you also rightly said, it's a result of some of our early life experiences. कि बचपन में हमने किसी से सुना है या हमने देखा है, and we perceive these things to be. मजाक मजाक में हम बोल देते बचपन में, यार तुझे कुछ नहीं आने वाला, तू कुछ नहीं करेगा. But if you take it seriously, right, then that starts affecting the mindset, and बस सब कुछ वैसे ही बनते जाए. So as you rightly pointed out, it's about being aware of those limiting beliefs, and just letting yourself or anybody, anyone else, know about how those limiting beliefs are impacting us, and then just letting them go through awareness. Good, I think. And मेरे को वो फिर से faith पे वापस जाना है, because somewhere I feel that हमने जो बात की अभी, वो थोड़ा आधा ही रह गया है. So if you don't mind, I would want to go back and
Yes, yes,
quickly.
please.
So it's about faith and hope. So again, connecting it to the limiting beliefs, letting those limiting beliefs go. So how can we keep believing even when things get tough? So that is what I think most of us go
So
through.
faith and hope, they are, I feel that when things are not going right, they are our strengths.
Correct. Okay.
So
Nice.
to maintain
Good.
this belief that what I'm facing, the challenges that I'm going through, I need to focus on my positive outcomes. What outcome I know. And it's not easy, especially when you are in that negative frame of mind, or when the situations around you are negative. That is the time when seeking support from your loved ones, or maintaining that sense of purpose,
Correct.
that and practicing gratitude even at the smallest blessings, even if when you're feeling low and someone just calls up a phone, that one small quick phone call to check how you are is a gratitude to that person who called. Thank you so much for checking on. So trusting in the higher power, or greatest purpose, it really provides that comfort,
Correct.
resilience to move forward.
Absolutely. 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 Very true. And I think उसका example तो वही है, which is you relocating to Singapore जब आपका, because that was needed, right? So अगर
Yes.
मुझे कोई बोले कि यार तुम्हारा बिजनेस का बेस है वो, तुम अभी सिंगापुर शिफ्ट करो, मैनेज योर बिजनेस फ्रॉम देयर, तो ऑब्वियसली मुझे थोड़ा वो डर तो लगेगा, ये आई फील इंटिमिडेटेड. एंड व्हाइल यू ब्रीफली मेंशनड, व्हेन यू मूव टू सिंगापुर काफी कुछ करना पड़ा. So when you
Yes.
moved to Singapore, how did you maintain your focus and ensure the growth of your business? Because that is what matters, right? बाकी distractions तो रहेंगे ही, नई जगह है, नए लोग हैं, but your business also needs to grow. So how did you maintain that focus?
So in all honestly, Akshay, the beginning wasn't easy for me. It wasn't. I faced numerous new challenges, both personally and professionally. It was overwhelming. And like
Correct.
anyone else, I also felt very anxious about it. I was very disturbed with the unexpected thing. But slowly again, it was staying in the present moment, prioritizing what mattered most. Because many
Yeah.
times that thought came, ठीक बैठी थी वहां पर, फुल टाइम जॉब में अच्छी खासी सैलरी आ रही थी, आई वाज डूइंग वेरी वेल, एंड हियर
Correct.
आई हैव टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम स्क्रैच, नॉट वंस बट ट्वाइस. और so all those thoughts were coming up, but definitely uh, support, thinking,
Correct.
strategizing what I need to work on. So I gradually found my footing and settled into my journey.
Yeah, I think that's what matters, right? और हमें वो बस वही सिर्फ सुनना है कि बिलीफ है, ये देर, ये हमारा पर्पस है, एंड हमको ये करना है, बस करना ही है, कम व्हाट में, एंड दैट्स व्हाट मेक्स अ डिफरेंस. गुड. सो आई थिंक नाउ थोड़ा भी हमारा वो क्या बोलते हैं, वो थीम थोड़ा शिफ्ट करते हैं. We'll now move towards talking a little bit about coaching, a little bit about leadership development. So थोड़ी trends के बारे में ही बात करेंगे. So what changes do you think we'll see in coaching or say maybe leadership development in the next 3 to 5 years? If you would want to add something to that.
Um, I feel that emotional intelligence, empathy, communication, and adapting to it, and virtual platforms
Hmm.
are coming up, and they
Correct.
will be offering
Hybrid
more of,
तो रहेगा ही. Hybrid
yes,
is
yes,
want.
tailored coaching. And I've observed this a lot during the COVID time also.
Absolutely.
Empowering leaders to tackle the various challenges that their team is feeling valued, because slowly now people have started giving relevance to all the mental wellness part also,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
apart from just looking at how company is doing, how work is doing. The concern and the focus has shifted to the well-being of their employees also, to the
Absolutely.
well-being of the family members also, to the well-being of all people around us.
Correct.
And I've seen online people are more open.
Hmm.
So these, and another thing which in specifically in coaching, which I'm observing is becoming increasingly popular, is the group coaching
Correct. Absolutely.
along with individual coaching. Now more and more companies are getting open to
Hmm.
group coaching, team coaching.
Correct.
So that's another thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what we are seeing is emotional well-being will obviously be a very crucial part of leadership development and coaching because everything is connected to emotions, which is your energy in motion. And because of the hybrid scenario, you will have virtual sessions and also got to do with your group sessions,
Yeah,
which
so
allows for a holistic experience.
yes, and earlier it was only for the corporates, Akshay, which was that coaching is only for, first it was for sports and then it was for corporates. But
Yes,
now I'm seeing that it is coming up in each and every domain, whether it is the education sector or it is the healthcare, or more and more people are getting aware of the importance of using coaching in their field.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I agree. And I think obviously in India में तो कब से शुरू हुआ है, right from the
Mm.
Mahabharata days where we had Guru as the coach. Uh,
Yes.
and, yeah, I think, and more than coaching, it's about creating that relationship to help the person understand their own potential, they understand their inner strength, and helping them grow. That's what matters. Yeah. Right? And so, speaking of which, what's been the hardest part of being a coach, and how did you get through it? And for all those, we've seen the surge in the number of people signing up for being a coach. So, what mindset should people signing up for becoming a certified coach have
So the
currently?
toughest thing that I have felt is working with the clients to overcome their resistance to change.
Mm, correct. That's what
So
matters,
change
right?
is not easy when you have to shift the focus on or move anyone from your comfort zone, or the acceptance part also.
Correct.
Many times we are not even ready to accept that yes, I need to change in that
Correct.
aspect of my life. So for example, if someone is getting very angry, or some is in a always in the anger zone, if you tell that person that you need to work on your anger issues, the
Correct.
first thing is a denial thing, that oh, I
Mm,
never get angry.
right.
So
Correct.
bringing breaking that resistance and making them aware that no, you, this is something which is impacting you, and is the thing that in your heart you also want to change, that
Mm, absolutely.
is is uh, is important, and it
Correct.
has been a difficult challenge
Challenge.
for
Yes.
me also. And as a coach, it takes a lot of persistence. patience, and also really listening to their concerns is the key.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
many times they themselves are not aware. So that is the time when you're reading between the lines. Just by being present with them, you can figure out, okay, जो कह रहा है उसके नीचे भी बहुत कुछ है.
Yeah.
So I need to
Correct.
go down at that depth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Correct.
Now, as a coach or as the aspiring coaches, I always feel that our mindset should be on the growth. We need to be curious,
Correct.
humble,
I like that.
or
You need to be curious. Yes, I like that statement.
you need to genuinely want to help others. It's not only that I have to do my session and just because I'm getting paid, but genuinely being present is where you build that connect with your coaching.
Absolutely.
So being flexible or adapting to what your clients' needs are is again a very crucial part for
Mm.
the success and the transformation.
Correct. Lovely. What stayed with me, and I'm sure I think others watching will be. It's about being curious and also believing that it's not about you. It's about the person you're working with.
Yes. Coaching is all about when you're doing a session, it has nothing to do with you. It's all
Correct.
about
Absolutely.
your coachee. It's all about
Correct.
them.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. And how different are the uh, other aspects that you do, which is being a Reiki healer and a painter. So how do you integrate these alternative healing practices to maintain your balance, and what's your typical day life like in your life? For us to understand how you may be incorporating these modalities into your daily life.
Reiki, yes, Reiki has become an important part of my life ever since I've learned what Reiki is and uh, how it can change the things. So in my daily routine, self healing is one part because see if I have to work with anything or if I have to be present for anyone else or for myself also, I need to be calm
Correct.
from inside.
Correct.
And it Reiki really helps me to balance myself, to bring that calmness.
Correct.
So uh, setting my intentions to focus. So every day in the morning, what I pray for myself is that I need to stay focused,
Mm, absolutely.
and it helps me to clear the noise. And while I was practicing healing, and I also observed that few times what happens that was that when I was talking with my clients, suddenly I was getting some thoughts or some intuitive thoughts that out of the blue that I should ask him this question,
Mm,
which had nothing to do with the goals that my coach is trying to ask.
mm,
Or so I've been practicing my intuitive coaching also while my sessions, and
correct.
initially in the beginning I was little surprised also because when I asked those particular questions which came to my mind, and my coach was thinking, and then they said that yes, now when you have asked me this question and I am realizing that this has been bothering me,
Mm, correct.
and then digging it deeper helped
Yeah,
them to get more clarity.
correct.
So
Absolutely.
Reiki has been really helping me.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yes,
And I
and
think it's about the connecting to that inner energy, right? The intuitive
yes,
power.
yes, definitely, definitely. And painting brings me joy. It brings out my creativity and helps me to think out of the box. And
Correct.
it also its significance echoes in my company's name also, which is Paint Your Own Rainbow, which
Right,
symbolizes
right, right.
empowerment and the individual expression.
Correct. Excellent. I love that name. Paint your ear. Very good.
Yes,
Absolutely. Lovely name. Now, I think I'm left with just two questions. But before that, all those watching us, if you have any questions for Jyoti, just feel free to share or maybe ask your questions. We'll get your questions to her. We'll get her to respond to those questions. I give you maybe 2 minutes before we begin. We'll wait for people. Yeah, you can ask questions on, say, maybe limiting beliefs, or maybe how do you overcome fears. What else? What do you want? What do you want them to ask, Jyoti?
See, I know things that stop us are ourselves. So, getting more aware of ourselves, working on our limiting beliefs, faith.
Right.
It's, many times we all think that when things are not going right, उस टाइम पे faith के साथ कैसे टिके रहो.
Correct. Correct. True.
But
True.
yes, faith is one thing that helps you to sail through that whole faith. The faith that yes, ऊपर कोई बैठा है.
Right.
So
Absolutely. All right. I
faith
think which
is
questions तो दिख नहीं रहे वैसे. But people watching us, if you can think of questions, you can post it and we'll take it. Uh, sorry, you were saying something, Jyoti? कुछ बोल रही हैं आप? All right. So, again, the next question is kind of connected to alternative healing modalities like Reiki. So, ये तो obviously this is something that you are applying, and many others, right, who are into alternative modalities. So, और अब तक alternative modalities तो सिर्फ individuals ही generally approach करते हैं. But do you think, India Inc. or do you think the corporate world, are they ready to integrate alternative healing modalities with leadership development and coaching into their offerings? Do you think they'll be willing to take it up? What's your
so
take on
from
that?
my from my point of view, I've seen that alternative healing in corporate office offerings, they can boost their employees' well-being.
Right.
So when we talk about mental well-being, or when we talk about, so traditionally all these things have been dominating in India, and there's been a visible trend towards embracing the holistic approaches as well. So I
Correct.
feel that if we can include these alternative things, it might support work culture,
Mm.
because
Right.
if holistic wellness is there, people are going to gain more clarity. Apart from it makes them feel that their organization is taking genuine care for them,
Yeah.
and in return it brings that it creates that bond between the organization and their employees. So
Absolutely.
it is always good, and there are other forms of like counseling sessions, or the coaching part, which are already part of many organizations,
Correct. Correct. Correct.
and which do make them feel that yes, organization is taking care of them. So I've seen few of organizations taking this at the time of COVID, because that time the stress was at its peak,
Correct.
and everything was so few of the companies have started taking this.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think that is what is needed. I think it's time, we bring about some changes into the offerings for corporates, because ultimately corporates, it's group of individuals, right, coming together. काम तो हम उसी इंसान के साथ कर रहे हैं जो या तो इंडिविजुअली हमारे पास आए, या हम कॉर्पोरेट के जरिए उनको और उनके
True.
कॉलीग के साथ काम करें. So it's the same thing. So I agree, and I think it's time that the corporate world recognizes the importance of alternative healing modalities, and includes it in their employee
Yes.
well-being initiative.
Yes. Yes, it should be.
Right, right. So with that, I come to my last question, which is, what is your main goal in life, and how do you plan to make a positive difference in the world? And how do you intend to achieve this goal? Because start may intent se kiya. So how do you intend to achieve this goal?
So I've always felt actually that I want to make people feel stronger from within. I want them to be more aware and more confident, and I feel that I can do this through my coaching.
Correct.
I want to support them in overcoming their challenges and achieving their goals. And this way, want to make a positive impact on the society or
Correct.
on the people around me.
Right. Absolutely. Excellent. So it's all about empowering people from within. And शायद वही आपका रूबरू है, which is आईना.
Yes, absolutely.
And
That is my
and
Rubaru.
and and coming to think of it, I think Samaksh is also almost similar, right? Samaksh and रूबरू. Samaksh is आपके सामने, it's your reflection.
Yes.
Good. Excellent. All right. So people watching us, I'm done with my questions. So if there's anything, Jyoti, you want to add, feel free to add to maybe your parting gift before we end the call. And others, just think about any questions that you may have for you. If you have any, feel free to post it now.
And I'll
Anything you
just say
want to add?
that be aware of yourself. अप,
Okay.
अपने आप के साथ रूबरू होइए. So my husband is a poet also, and he would have
Yes.
said few lines on that. But I'm not a poet, and I would just say that अपने आप के साथ रूबरू होना बहुत जरूरी है.
Right. Absolutely. That is
And
what is needed. Correct. Because अगर हम खुद को नहीं जानेंगे तो हम किसी और को नहीं जान पाएंगे. And it's extremely essential to know who you are. And not just that, also to maybe know your own capabilities and believing in yourself and your capabilities. All right, with that, I think we've come to the end of this lovely, insightful conversation. All those watching us, I hope you found it insightful. Do share your comments. Do share if you have any other questions. You could obviously reach out to me or reach out to Jyoti directly. On the same link, you can post your questions and get Jyoti to answer those. But before we end the call, maybe I'll give you another minute or so for you to send your questions. Okay. Okay. Prerna says, Prerna Kumar, she says, absolutely loved the conversation. Thank you, Prerna. And all right. So I think thank you, Jyoti, for this lovely, insightful conversation. Uh, and looking forward to many such conversations going forward. Right. And all those watching us, thank you very much for your time. The links will be available, and I will also be sharing it separately on LinkedIn again. And in the month of April, I'll be back with yet another uh, guest. In April, the guest is a finance guru and investment guru. He too, like us, has moved away from his comforting job and started his own investment consultancy firm and helping people create wealth. So we get him to share his narratives and his story in the month of April, and I'll share his details shortly. So Jyoti, thank you very much,
thanks,
and
Akshay,
thank
and
you, Ambika.
thanks.
Ambika just kind of shared a message. Thank you, Ambika. And, all right, with that, let me end the call. Thank you very much. All
Thank you,
right,
everyone, and
bye bye.
do join us on our next session of this series next month.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Thanks.
All
Thank you,
right,
everyone.
three, three,